Yo, what up, YouTube? Hey, I'm just here making another video. I told you I hopefully would be more consistent. Well, once every 2 weeks. That's better than the last time. So, you're going to have to forgive me for the cough. Took a motorcycle class. A lot of people were smoking. So, a guy with asthma is going to have a cough here or there. I swear, it ain't anything too crazy. But, there's a lot going on in our society right nowadays, and I want to bring some light to a few things. And I've been listening to a lot of philosophy and things of philosophy, and I'm going to be honest, if you look through the philosophy of things, you can then see where a lot of the narrative or what types of narratives are going around within our media, within the world. So I'm just going to go out and throw out, what is conformity to you? What does it mean to you? Because I have something written out that it shows my view on what conformity and what's going on within this world. So conformity, I looked it up and I combined both of the definitions of it. It basically means it's being compliant with rules and regulations and laws, which also means to society and the rules of society. What do you think about that once you hear that definition? Think about that. Because today we're seeing within our culture a bunch of things to conform. And I am sorry, I'm looking at my computer because it has all of my notes. But this is something I really wanted to speak about because honestly, there's not enough people talking more about this subject, about good rhetoric. Everyone will say, go against the rhetoric, but no one talks about what is the rhetoric or what type of rhetoric are they using. So, you know what? I'm going to give partially what type of rhetoric is going on and what questions we need to be asking when it comes to rhetoric. And rhetoric is any type of speech, any type of thing talking about different types of subjects, rhetoric. So I first want to go and talk about how haven't we seen lately in the news the conformity of this sector, this sector, this sector. I'm not going to call out different sectors, but I'm just going to say each sector wants you to conform to a certain thing. I'm going to ask the question, if you're not able to decide for your own self, doesn't that mean that you're giving up your freedom of thought? Isn't that what their convincing rhetoric is? Your freedom of thought? So I'm going to go and ask conformity and why is it so dangerous? I'm just going to read it straight from my notes. It is dangerous because when we take the main narrative and make the normal person feel as if they're out of place, then that does not show the views that the majority hold. And that is what I'm seeing within this country, this world, is that there are narratives out there that, the normal person probably doesn't show or doesn't even really hold on to or even care about. Because I bet if we asked so-and-so randomly on the street of such and such, there's a lot of people who have done videos on that, so I'm not going to just cover, oh, well, this person asked this person this question, and this was their response. I'm not going to do that. You can go look that up on your own time on YouTube. But I'm going to ask, there are a few questions that we need to be asking. Is the rhetoric that they're showing, is it based off of fear? Is it based off of what they want you to hear? What they want you to see? What is the rhetoric? What is the type of stuff that they want you to see? What view are they holding? Are they holding a view that you actually care for? Or are they trying to convince you of something that you're like, I don't really care? And I'm just going to read it straight from here. There are no sources needed for making this. Is it for the rhetoric used for the tactic of fear or for shaming? And I'm going to say within the news, within the media in general, I'm seeing a lot of fear and a lot of shaming. And that should not be. Because we're going to say, live in the United States of America. I think our Bill of Rights, if I'm not, too far off, says that we have the freedom to think and believe the way that we want. If I'm not, mistaken, that's probably the First Amendment. You can go ahead, fact check me on that if you want. YouTube fact checkers. Go ahead, fact check me if you want. Put it down in the comments of whether I'm right or wrong. And what do you think? But then we need to go deeper. What is their why and what do they get out of this? By telling me what I think is wrong. What do they get out of it? Because I'm going to say it. I hate to say very horrible, but follow the money, honey. Like, follow that money and you'll be able to figure out what are they getting out of it. And I'm going to ask, why do we try to conform to political and societal agendas? Why is that? Is it because we want to fit on in? Is this that we're scared of being shamed? The fear of being shamed? Which is it? What is it? Why do we want this? Because the more we go into, well, I believe this, I believe that, I don't know. The more that we throw this around and we're not thinking for ourselves anymore, that means that we're starting to, how do I put this? We're starting to forget the freedom of thinking for our own selves, and thinking for our own self starts to wane in itself. I'm going to say it. The choice is up to the people on whether we believe the rhetoric of the mainstream. I can guarantee you that I am not of the mainstream. I really don't care for the mainstream. I just don't want the mainstream. Because the mainstream to me has gone so far against my personal beliefs that I don't want any part of it. And that's why I'm making this, because I believe and I have seen that we have gone so far that it's not resonating with the common everyday citizen, the normal working class of America. This is more now to the elitist of the world, the top 5% that are saying everything. I'm just a normal human being. What is normal? I have no clue. But I do know one thing. I know that we all live in the United States of America and we have the freedom to live, to think, and to do whatever we want. The government can't tell us what to do. I'm going to be straight up. They can mandate things, but our Constitution is set that we, the people, it is we, the people, that get to do this. I know this is probably going to sound like a rant or whatever, but I really want to talk about, we need to have our own rhetoric, or we at least need to find out more about rhetoric instead of just blindly following the mainstream. Because I feel like I'm part of a cult of my own self, of that I'm not normal anymore, because the normal everyday person is not what I see in the news. And I wanted to speak out about that, because not all of us are going to believe the mainstream. That is all right. We may believe in the mainstream. That is all right. Again, we live in the United States of America, so it doesn't matter what views we have. We all come from different parts of life. But at least if you don't share the same views as someone, if you, argue the point, which means have a debate about the point, be able to shake hands at the end of the argument and say, you know what? You have a point of caring for this, this, and this. Well, I have a point of caring for this, this, and this. We both just don't see eye to eye. But hey, I care about my neighbor. So you know what, YouTube? I think that's just my message, is that all of us need to all come together as we the people, shake hands. At other sides of the aisle, we need to come together and shake hands and say, hey, we may think differently, but hey, we're still all Americans. So you know what, YouTube? That's what it is. Everyone, comment down below of what you think. This is an open debate, open freely for everyone's rhetoric. If you have any questions or anything, just go and I'll answer the questions as I go throughout YouTube. All right, deuces, y'all. We're going to be having more content here soon.